Hey, Mark. It's so good to see you today. I am really curious. My name's Benjamin. For those of you who are watching who have not met me yet, I'm Benjamin. I'm a social gerontologist, and I work with Koelsch Communities. And Mark is the CEO and founder of Jintronix and a product called LudoFit, which we are testing in some of our markets. And we wanted to do a conversation so the rest of the world can know about this amazing innovation. Mark, I have had so much trouble in rolling out VR in different places, virtual reality in different places, especially with seniors, because the headsets are still pretty heavy and don't feel very comfortable. But you realized there was a need to still connect people to the virtual worlds that are now available without the headsets. The other problem we have is people need to exercise, want to exercise, but it can be boring to exercise inside all the time. I'm curious, you also developed a solution for that. Tell us briefly what that is, and then we'll dive into it.
Okay, so the concept basically is, like you said, the two key challenges is that for someone to take on an exercise habit that's going to stay with them for a long period of time, it needs to be super easy, super convenient. And what we did is we basically took the concept of gamification, turning exercise into a fun and motivating game, and we took that concept and made it put it on so anyone can use it from laptops, from iPads. It basically uses your web camera to track your motions. So you don't need any extra equipment whatsoever except for what you already have. You download the program, you stand in front of the device, and you are off to the races. Literally speaking, you could be racing down a ski course, going down a motorcycle route, doing the Tour de France, and having a great time while working on really important evidence-based fall prevention exercise. So
that is super cool. So are you gonna be able to show us a little bit today so people who don't know what you're talking about can see it?
It would be my pleasure. I would be very happy to do that.
All right, we'll get started in 1 second. Hang on, everyone. Okay, so take us through, first of all, real quick, why exactly did you start this company? What were you doing that you were like, we need to do this, we need to make this happen?
Okay, well, I started off, I was doing actually interactive installations for museums and science centers. For me, it was always about using technology to engage and inspire people. I got connected with, it started actually with kids with developmental coordination disorders. Then I connected with my partner, and his father had actually suffered from a stroke. And we realized how critically important it was to for doing exercise repetitions over a long period of time, and how critically important that was towards regaining your function. We decided to build a whole company and a product around that initial insight. Our main product line that we've been developing since 2012 is an interactive kiosk that's in a lot of skilled nursing facilities. And then over that period of time, I personally visited probably over 200 senior communities with that program that we've been rolling out. And then over the last couple of years, as new technology evolved, we decided to take the core idea of what we were doing, gamification for exercise, and making that accessible for anyone using any laptop or iPad, something they can use at home, something they can use in the community. And we built this new product called LudoFit, and we're just now rolling it out and super excited to bring it to the world.
Oh my gosh. I got to tell you, I tried it before we started testing it in some of our independent living, assisted living communities. And it is a workout. It is a workout. I was like, oh, this is going to be easy, right? It's going to be easy. I'm just standing in one place. Oh my gosh. I've had a workout like that in a long time. Show us a little bit about what this is like, because I love the way that it helps you exercise in another world. You're not just in your living room watching somebody on a screen tell you to lift your leg and lift your foot. Like, it is a really, if you're getting to explore the world and do a sport.
Totally. Awesome. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and show a little bit about this just to give you a sense as to the initial idea. We really wanted to build this program around, you touched on it, hinted at it, world travel. So we really latched onto the idea of exercise your way around the world. So you could be skiing the Italian Alps, rock climbing in Thailand, cycling the Tour de France. We have a new game that we're working on, whitewater rafting in Chile. We have a New Zealand adventure that we're developing, so a bunch more that's coming out over the next couple months. And it's based on fall prevention exercises in communities and at home. And I'm going to go ahead and do some of the program for you, so you can see me doing it. And I should mention, Benjamin, you mentioned it was a workout. So the program actually does a small strength test for each individual who uses the program, and then appropriately sets the level. So someone at a lower level could be doing very light exercise, and someone who really championed it during the strength test is going to be given a little bit more of a strenuous workout. So basically, I got my agenda for the last little bit of week. I got my goal that I can set. I have my progress from the last little bit of time. I go ahead and play. I got my 3 games that we currently have now. Like I mentioned, we got 2 more coming. Let's start with Ski the Alps. So I'm going to go ahead and launch that up, and then you can see, so it's clearing the ice. So a bit of work to be done in order for me to be ready to engage in the program. And we take you to the Dolomite Mountains in the Italian Alps, and we really worked hard to create an environment.
Please move back.
That really feels like you're there. And so I'm going to get up here. And by the way, if you see those white lines on my body, that's what the computer sees. So I'm not wearing any special sensors, anything, just my regular clothes, and the program, using computer vision with a regular web camera on your device that you already have, is able to do some pretty incredible work on the motion sensing. So I'm going to stand up here. I'm going to get into my
Great. Now hold
here
still.
I'm in the silhouette here, so I'm positioned appropriately. So it starts by giving me a little challenge. It's taunting me by telling me a little bit about my personal best and challenging me to do it. So I can shift my way to the left. My steer goes to the left. I shift to the right.
Try to aim for as many stars as possible.
Steer goes to the right. So basically, I'm skiing through the blade now, doing my weight shifting, which is really important for knee strength, hip strength, really well tried exercise. So now I'm not just doing this movement.
Remember to tuck your pelvis and engage your core.
Engage. Here I am, getting around these things. Thank you.
Squat.
I got a squat coming up, so I'm going to lower my body, do a little squat. Here I am. Here comes another squat. And I'm doing a lot here, so I continue along my way. And you can see at the top there, it's showing me how far I am towards my next personal best. And we created a true-to-life Italian Alps ski resort, so you can see there are many different directions you can go in. There is a full map of different things: open areas, closed areas, glades, slaloms, tunnels, cliffs, foresty areas, and stuff like that. So here I am. Now I got these rocks that I got to go around. So I move around these exposed rocks. And one thing that's very unique about the Italian Dolomite Alps is that there are these mining tunnels to see through. So we decided to recreate these mining tunnels, as you can see. I'm shifting my weight to the right, shifting my weight to the left. I don't even realize that I'm doing really important exercise. 47 stars. Doing all right there. And if I don't squat deep enough, ouch. That hurt. But I think the tree branch took a little harder than me. But you got to take some liberties when you're in the virtual world. You can have to try something different. So here we go. So that's the ski game. And I'm going to pause there. And I finished the activity here.
That corresponds to your level of exertion.
Okay, so a lot of people might be asking, well, how does the program adjust to your difficulty? So every time you play, it asks you to rate your exertion. So you could say, well, it was super easy, and the program will get a little more difficult, or it was pretty hard, and the program will get easier. So let's say put it at 6 here. It'll say we'll make it a bit easier next time. So that's how the program adjusts to each person. I'll show the Tour de France. So here we go. Click on play. All right, now it gets ready here. I'm going to step into the area, and this is, I'm not sure who in the crowd has any experiences with Peloton.
Make sure we can see your knees.
It's similar to that.
Great. Now hold still.
Cyclists through.
Make sure we can see your knees.
Okay.
Great. Now hold still.
All right. So here I am again, telling me a little bit about my personal best. And again, you can see me at the bottom right there. You can see what the program did. You can see if I'm staying still, and I'm not moving so much. But this game is
As you
all
pedal,
about
you'll be
marching
charging your
in place.
battery. When your battery is fully charged, you'll get a
As I
cool-down
reach my
period where
knees
you
up,
won't need to pedal. Remember to lift those knees high. The higher you lift your knees, the faster your cyclist will go.
and I gotta reach to the right to change lanes. So reach
Quarter
to the right,
charge.
reach to the left. So basically, what I'm doing is marching in place to navigate through the
Half charge.
So I'm going to be passing farmlands, towns, cities, over bridges, through tunnels, by the beaches, and I'm doing really important cardio work for a dynamic standing balance. To the right,
Almost there.
and I'm going to pause that too so you can see this game. And then finally, the last part I'll show you.
Got it.
The last game I'll show you for a quick moment or two is rock climbing. So I'll just show you for a minute or two, and then we could, talk about, what's behind this and how it all works and how people respond to it.
Please move back.
So again, here I am.
Great. Now hold
Sidestepping.
still.
So this is focused on dynamic standing balance. So again, my personal best. And here I am. So basically, this is all about sidestepping. So I got to shimmy my way up this rock wall by sidestepping to the right, sidestepping to the left. I can do it with an assistive device if I want.
Collect as many stars as you can.
Reaching up, collect those stars. So this is a pretty good full body workout.
Reach up.
Now I'm reaching up with both my arms. Reach up you can do with one arm if you want. And I continue my way. So that's it. I'm engaging. And as I go up, I can see the views. There's actually fireworks when I get to the top. That's a little bit about that activity, and I'll pause there. Just wanted to give you a little,
Click on the number that corresponds.
taste test of everything. And maybe one thing I can show, actually, if people are interested, is the stats. Everyone asks about the stats. What goes on behind? Well, the program is doing a lot of work. It's not just showing you a fun game. It's really tracking everything that you're doing for your own benefit. How my arm raise has been like, my lateral arm extensions. I can look at my trend. I can see how I've been doing over time. Distance side step. So it's tracking, in the different games, how far I've walked in terms of distance, and then you could see that over time. Squats, weight shifts, knee raises. So all that's there to be able to kind of see where you're going, and there's weekly challenges and things like that. So that's a sort of a high level about what this program is all about. We're offering trials right now. People would like to try this program. Works on laptops and iPads. It takes about 10 minutes to install, and you could be using the program and doing the Tour de France. So
how long have you been delivering something like this? I know you started in the nursing home setting, which is very different from Koelsch, where we have assisted living and memory care and independent living that are plush apartments. And what, from the time you started to today, how long has that been approximately?
Well, we started our company in 2012. So
okay.
It has actually
it's
been about 10 years, just over 10 years. And the program started with using a special motion sensor that we were using with the kiosk, and we still use that, and we do groups and a lot of elements in that space. But we basically took the beating heart of what we were doing to this new LudoFit product.
Yeah. Now, in 10 plus years, have you been able to tease out any data points on like how this impacts the people who use it, or whether it helps people exercise who didn't exercise, or anything you've learned after studying, all the data that's come in over the past 10 years? Anything you're starting to see, any pictures, any themes?
Absolutely. So first of all, just looking at the concept of gamification, there's been a lot of evidence focused on that for several decades, looking at the role of gamification. On our technology, we've actually had a number of peer-reviewed, published clinical studies. One was with the VA Centers of Excellence, their MS, multiple sclerosis centers of excellence, had a clinical study We had several academic randomized control studies with independent living communities. One was in Florida, one was in Montreal. It was part of a larger study. And if you actually search for Jintronix online, Jintronix is the name of our company, on Google Scholar or even on our website, we have all the clinical studies there. There are actually more that we haven't put up yet, but there's a lot of clinical studies showing really positive findings. And what is it about gamification that really, like, what's the explanation behind it? That's what people want to know beyond just does the data show it? And what people are finding is that there's a concept of open loop exercise and closed loop exercise, or open system or closed system. So closed system is everything is predictable. There's nothing new, nothing unexpected to come. So if you're being asked, even in a video, like a Zoom video or anything like that, do 20 repetitions of arm raises, or do 10 sets of, or 3 sets of 10 squats or something like that. That's a closed loop exercise. Whereas if you're in an open loop exercise, open loop type of environment, there are unpredictable things happening. There are unexpected things happening. So you don't know when you're going to squat. You don't know when you're going to reach. And the mind is on a different plane of thinking. It's not thinking about what it's doing. It's thinking about the whole environment that it's in. And it's not just trying to do a repetition of a movement, it's trying to achieve a task that itself only came, it's an unpredictable task because it's part of a video game, it's part of an open environment. And that is really what the theory shows why.
Hold on just a second. Looks like Mark popped off for a moment. He'll be right back.
Hey.
There you go. There you go.
Hey, I'm back. Not sure what happened there. I'm gonna
just understanding this loop concept. Any sense for how it's better for you to do the open loop versus the closed loop? Any research findings that help us understand the benefit?
Well, what is the ultimate effect? By the way, my camera is going to be coming on, but do you hear me okay?
I hear you just fine. Yeah. He's in Montreal, Canada. So we are talking from a long distance apart. While he's getting back on, I'll just mention that one of the things that we were testing was how this could be done in a social setting, because it's one thing to play the game on your own, which is really cool, but it's also, part of why we at Koelsch Communities exist is to create community for people as they age, right? Most of us don't want to age all alone. We don't want to just be alone in our house and not see anybody. And so we create settings that bring people together. So how can we use games like this to create social experiences while we're exercising? And so we're experimenting with how do we bring together people to all be playing games at either the same time or to be playing games and kind of competing with one another. So that's something that we're testing. Mark, I see you're back. I was telling everybody you're in Canada, so we're a long ways away from each other. We're trying to talk. So.
Right, yeah.
Anyway, any benefits to the open loop versus the closed loop system?
Well, right. So this is the difference. And what's the benefit? The benefit is that the evidence clearly shows that people engage for a longer period of time. They're able to take on a bigger challenge without realizing it, and the outcomes, obviously, that's at the end. So it's sort of, there's 3 steps. One is the open loop versus closed loop, and what the difference is, how that changes the behavior in terms of showing up more often, taking on a bigger challenge without even realizing it, without all that negative self-talk, and then that leading to the better outcome. And we have clinical data that we've been working on for a decade, showing all those key steps. So gamification is a really important part of the wellness, and not just in terms of exercise, in terms of all different elements. So any approach to wellness that doesn't take the intrinsic motivation parts into account is missing a really important piece of the puzzle. And that's really where we feel it's an important part to play.
Yeah, yeah. Because I mean, you could have the best program in the world if nobody does it. That's kind of pointless, right? You could have the coolest bells and whistles, the greatest research, but they paid the people in the research study to do it, right? And so,
Yeah, yeah. Actually, yeah, you're right on about that. And there are really the fall prevention exercises have been standardized, clinically validated for years already. It's been over a decade with Otago fall prevention, Tai Chi moving for better balance, and a lot of the challenges when it comes to scaling up these pilot programs. And a lot of there's funding requests you can see in Congress records really trying to support these fall prevention programs. But ultimately, the biggest challenge is that it's a heavy lift to get people to engage in those programs. So when you're doing a clinical study and people are calling people to constantly get them to exercise on this specific program, that'll work. But the real challenge, the real gap right now is getting people excited about doing it on their own, getting ready and making that a habit on their own right, not because it's coming from the outside.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And in the senior living field where we are, we're always looking at how to put together an environment, a community, a program, infrastructure in which it makes it easy and desirable to be living well, to have fitness, to have socialization, to have brain fitness, to stay connected to the world, to continue to give back. So our whole setting is designed to try to empower someone at 50, 60, 70, 80, 90 to continue living a very fit, healthy life. And it's tools like this that make it possible, because if we don't have tools that create that desire, right, that's the whole point of why people choose to come and live in a senior living environment, is because they want to have the support to do the things they know are really good for them. And I love about what you're doing, the way you're not only creating kind of the gamification, but you're also helping people who may not be able to travel anymore. Like I'd say at least 75% of people who are living in the senior living community in America probably aren't going to be able to go to Europe. Like it's just going to be too hard to do that. You're kind of giving them a window into places maybe they've been before or they would love to go. What are some of the other places you said you're working on besides we have the Alps, we had the Tour de France. What else did you show us?
So for the travel piece is all about curiosity. And that's one thing we did our deep research, trying to understand, well, what do we want to do? We want to create games for exercise, but we want to go deeper than just that. And making world travel is a real intentional idea. So we've got our Tour de France, our skiing in the Alps, our rock climbing in Thailand, and we're building a whitewater rafting game in the Patagonia, Chile. And we've actually created a 3D environment that we really tried to be faithful to the space. And when we go to places like that, it's not just about a nice environment, although that's a really important part of it. You want to educate, like what's here? What are the types of vegetation that we're seeing? What are the types of animals? What makes this special? When people go to a remote place in the world, they don't want to just look at the aesthetic beauty of it. They want to go deeper and learn about it, and that's something that you really can do perfectly with interactive and with an information-based type of thing. You can say, here we are. This is what's it about. This is the history. So a lot of people get a kick out of that. And the other place that we're going to is New Zealand. So I don't know if you know of, there's a famous local New Zealand sport called globe riding. Where people are sort of in those big inflatable balls and they're kind of rolling around. Have you ever seen that?
Yes. Are you going to do a game with that?
Yeah, but you're not going to be rolling around in a ball, not in our game. You're going to be controlling a ball with the tilt of your trunk. So basically, you're navigating an enchanted New Zealand environment with the vegetation that you'd imagine in New Zealand. Think, Lord of the Rings, and with different types of challenges and obstacles. And this game is all about postural control, core strengthening, which is really important for reducing back pain, for stability. So basically, this is all about controlling your trunk, moving this ball through this maze, and avoiding obstacles and avoiding things. So that's basically what this game is about. That game is actually going to be released on Friday.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah. So and everybody gets the updates. So you guys are just gonna update itself. You're gonna see bloop, and the new game is there. And then the whitewater rafting game is a reaching activity. So you're reaching here, reaching there, getting things off the trees, picking bananas, stuff like that. That game is going to be in February, but it's I've been watching the progress. It's coming along, and so we really kind of putting the gas on the development and really want to roll out lots of games. And also seated position is also coming out also in February, probably earlier. But that's something
Seated
that
position, meaning someone who can't stand for very long could still participate in the game.
Yeah. So we built this program really narrowly focused on right now for a certain type of person who's can do exercises in standing for balance and fall prevention. And one thing, a big request that we've been getting from our users is that we can really, make this a lot more adaptive to people by allowing people to use this in seated position. So that's coming up imminently. So those are the key things that are around the bend.
I love this. Well, Mark, I'm so glad you've been part of Koelsch Innovation Lab, and we are just really excited about what you're doing. And we want the world to know that there are really cool options for staying engaged during fitness. So if anybody wants to reach out to your team and try it for the home setting, they would just go to your website. Is that right?
Yeah, so maybe you could put it in the show notes or something, but I'll send you the link if people want to go and give it a shot. It's still offered. Free trials are still being offered for the next couple of months. So if you want to be there on a free trial, I'll follow that link and give it a go.
Awesome. Or if you want to come where we've already got it all set up for you and you can just walk in and experience it, contact us at Koelsch Communities and we'll get you connected with an experience. So, oh my gosh, Mark, thank you for what you're doing. Super excited about my first globe. How do you call it? Globe what? Globe rolling?
It's called globe riding.
Globe riding. I've always wanted to do that. I've seen it on YouTube. I'm like, I want to do that. I can't go to New Zealand.
All right,
now I can do it.
This is your chance.
Awesome. All right. Well, hey, Mark, thanks so much, and we'll talk soon.
Pleasure. Thank you, Benjamin.